for stopping by my channel, At Home Fine Eating. Today I want to show you how to make my marinara sauce. I'm telling you, it's really good stuff. You can use this with just regular spaghetti with ground beef in it, Italian sausage, chicken spaghetti. A couple of weeks ago I used this sauce to make some meatball sandwiches, and it is wonderful with my parmesan chicken. Okay, so let me go over the ingredients with you. Alright, we're going to start off with half of a medium onion chopped. And I've got 2 mushrooms here. Depending on the size, they call these baby bellas. I don't get it. Anyway, if you like mushrooms, get you 2, 3, 4 mushrooms and put in there with it. I've got 3 cloves of garlic I'm going to press in there. And then my recipe calls for a 28-ounce can of petite diced tomatoes. Today we're going to use a can of diced fire roasted tomatoes. It'll just add a little additional flavor to it. The recipe is wonderful with just regular tomatoes, but this will just give it a little bit of extra flavor. Alright, so we got a 28-ounce can of diced tomatoes, and then we've got a 14-ounce can of stewed tomatoes. Then I've got 1 6-ounce can of tomato paste. Okay, now as far as seasoning goes, we've got 1 good bay leaf, 2, if you don't have a good one, put a couple small ones in there. And then we've got a teaspoon of sugar. We've got a teaspoon of dried basil, 1 teaspoon of oregano, and a tablespoon of parsley, and then a half a teaspoon of crushed red pepper. Okay, and then we'll also salt and pepper to taste. So we're going to start off cooking here by adding about a 1/4 cup or so of olive oil. And then we're going to put our onions in. Alright, so we're going to get these onions sauteing, or cooking a little bit. We're going to go ahead and put the garlic in. I got 3 pretty decent cloves here. You need at least 2 large ones or 3 mediums, whatever. Adds up to about 2 large cloves. I like to press it, it's just easier, and it seems like you get more flavor from just the trauma you're doing to it. Alright, so we got our garlic in there. Now we're just going to saute this until these onions get transparent, tender. In a few minutes we will throw the mushrooms in there with all that. Alright, now I like my marinara sauce to be kind of smooth. I don't like lumps of tomatoes in it. So I'm going to take all these tomatoes. It's the fire roasted tomatoes or petite diced. A can of stewed tomatoes. And then we're going to go ahead and put a 6-ounce can of tomato paste. I can hear our onion and garlic over there sizzling. And it doesn't have to cook long, just a few minutes to make it a little tender and get that flavor out. Alright, now we're just going to put this on the Ninja. Now we're just going to run it on medium high for a minute at the most. right there, about, I don't know, 20, 30 seconds. All right, now that our onion and garlic is cooking good, we're going to put these mushrooms in. Just put those right in there with the onions and the garlic. So we're just going to let that sit there and cook for just a couple of minutes and let the mushrooms kind of get a little bit tender, and then we'll be ready to add our tomatoes. Alright, our mushrooms and onions and garlic have been sitting here just kind of simmering for about 3-4 minutes. Everything looks a little tender, so we're going to go ahead and add our tomatoes. Just pour all them in there. Alright, now we got our tomatoes in there. Let's go ahead and add all of our seasonings. Just mix that in real good. And we're just going to let this sit on the stove top and simmer for about 2 to 3 hours. Alright, now that we've got all our tomatoes in there, got all the spices in there, all we got to do now is let that sit and simmer for a couple of 2 to 3 hours. I am going to go ahead and hit it with a little salt. And a little black pepper. Alright, we're going to turn this down on 3 and let it sit there for 2 to 3 hours. Alright, I'm back here with this marinara sauce. It's been simmering for about 2.5 hours. It should be good to go. So let's take a look at this. Man, that looks good. Them fire roasted tomatoes too just give it a dark look. Anyway, that's Dave's marinara. That's some really good stuff, I'm just telling you. With parmesan chicken, that's what I'm going to do with this later. So let's put this into a serving dish. Like I said, I'm going to use this batch here on some parmesan chicken, but it's delicious with any type of spaghetti or anything you need a good marinara sauce for. Well, there you have Dave's marinara. It's some really good stuff in so many ways. Alright, look, I really appreciate you watching, and I hope you enjoy the food most of all. And it's just really good, I'm telling you. Anyway, thank you. Check out my Parmesan chicken recipe that goes along with it just perfectly. Thanks again, I'm David Thornton. I'm out.